We've been at elections since at least 1991. We've been at elections. We've tried to build an institution that stands and organizes our elections, and they've been at it since 1991. So at least this institution has some expertise, experience. Over time, we have developed to an extent where we have the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC. At IPAC, I mean, all of this, and most, in fact, all the significant processes we have made in our electoral processes have been suggested by the New Patriotic Party. From the days where we're using opaque ballot boxes, to us getting transparent ballot boxes, us getting pictorial ID cards, or printed ID cards in rural areas, all of this have been championed by the New Patriotic Party, and we will continue to help build that one institution that our constitution is mandated to organize elections in this country. Many times when a party is in opposition, everything the EC does is wrong. When you're in power, you defend the EC. I'm not here this morning to defend the EC. But I have been fortunate over the years, at least since 1995, to have been part of these processes. Even when I was not contesting elections, I was working for the EC one way or the other. As a registration officer or exhibition officer, I have been at it since 1995. So I appreciate the work that the EC does. I appreciate the work that the EC does. And I'm not going to sit here and bastardize the EC today. We have,
you appreciate the work that the
legislation.
EC does in general?
We have, in general, yes.
Okay.
We have legislation that governs the way, how we have to organize these elections. And if the EC is doing anything untoward, trust me, the New Patriotic Party has what it takes every time to stand and demand that right things are done. And that is what we've done over the years. This threat, the NDC is asking for a forensic audit of the register. And the EC says, look, there is no need for such forensic audit. Remember, in 2020, we had a new register. This register is only being used once, a biometric register that has all the biometric data of everybody who has been registered. So wherein lies this audit? If the NDC is able to make some very tangent reasons why there has to be a forensic audit, I'm sure many of us will support the call for the EC, because just like our candidate said yesterday, we all want a fair and peaceful elections come December 7th. Ghana is the only place we have. But you see, in our electioneering processes, we've had some very words have become part of the lexicon when it comes to elections. You were saying that in 2016, the NPP never, in 2016, announced results. I was a candidate then, in there, and I was following, I was neck deep into the process. When you were speaking, I didn't say it. Don't even try. just to be forewarned is to be forearmed. In 2016, I was a candidate. I was very much in there. Even in the morning, when we had collated our results, we knew that we had won the elections by 1 million votes. We never came out to announce any results. We didn't. In 2016, we didn't. We waited until the official declaration came from the EC. We didn't say we're in a comfortable lead. You remember that word, and what occasioned the use of the word comfortable lead that has become part of our lexicon today. I think that it's good that the NDC has returned to IPAC. They were absent for a long time. I am sure that if, for the period that they were absent from IPAC, if they had been at IPAC, all of these problems or perceived problems that they have would have been resolved at IPAC. That is why we got IPAC in place. Let the parties go sit down, judge with the EC, whatever issues they have, let us resolve it at EC. Look, as a nation, we can't continue to bastardizing our institutions every now and again. What we need to do is to build institutions, and that is how countries that have made significant processes in democratic governance have done. They have built institutions that have outlived governments. And that's what we need to do. It is not the case of at every opportunity as bastardizing the institutions that we are supposed to support and build over time.
I'm surprised you're saying all these.
Yesterday I happened to be driving in town, so I listened to the point at which Honorable Esiodun Kitia led the NDC to file, and I thought it was cordial. I mean, within in there, I listened to it live on radio, and I thought it was cordial, and I was impressed. Only for him to come out and raise the tensions again. Elections are coming up. Look, Ghana is the only place we have this unnecessary tension and people. We have said we will support the work of the EC. We will get into that. Like the president said yesterday. For NPP, ours is not to cheat anybody in elections or steal the mandate of the people. We will contest the elections
so it's
free
not
and
in
fair.
DNA.
Sorry? It is not in our DNA. That's it. In NPP, it is not in our DNA. We will contest the election fairly, squarely, and we hope that everybody gets the playing field, equal playing field, and we'll contest and we'll win. Every time we have won elections, we have won like that.
During the exhibition exercise.
And you see,
during the exhibition
let me make a point. Today, the processes, electioneering processes, we have what? Almost 18 million people or so on the vote electoral register. How is somebody going to sit in Accra and steal the mandate of 18 million people? I mean, how is that feasible?
No, you're making it so simple. No, it's not as simple as that.
Wait. Let me make my point. When I'm done. When during this country in 2013.
During the exhibition,
in 2013.
let me ask you this.
No. Let me make
during
my point.
During the exhibition, did you ever identify vote transfer as MPP observers? Did you?
Vote transfer.
Yes.
As in.
Yes.
As in.
As they identified, did you?
It's we didn't
at all.
We didn't.
Not in one constituency.
Well, I am not.
Everything was clean.
As I sit here,
your observer said everything was fine.
As I sit here, I said I am not aware. What the point I'm going to make is in 2013, look, we had opportunity as a nation to lay bare the whole processes. Everybody who followed the proceedings in court understood for the first time. We open ourselves up, and we all, by the end of proceedings, agreed that elections are going to be won or lost at the police stations. Period.
That's why they're working on that.
Don't ever think that somebody is going to stampede another person
by
threatening to get on the streets.
No.
By whether you see it as a threat, whether you see it as a notice to get on the street for somebody to cave in to allow.
We've all agreed.
To our bit.
We've all agreed that
the New Patriotic Party this afternoon at 1 p.m. is also going to react to some of those aspirations or aspersions that the NDC is having. We are going to respond to it equally, in equal measure. But like the president said yesterday, for the New Patriotic Party, it is not in our DNA to cheat anybody at elections. We win and lose elections fairly. That's been our. So at 1 p.m. today, we are going to respond. And then
in equal measure.
We are not going to threaten anybody. We are not going to your word, put anybody on notice, but we are going to stay outside how we have seen the processes happening within the EC.
Yeah,
we have been a significant
reminded us.
That reminds me when Prof was speaking, he said they were doing it on behalf of the NDC and smaller parties. I didn't know whether he was referring to the New Patriotic Party as a small party, and I think that he should desist from that. Because I think that we are the biggest party. We are the biggest party in Ghana. And then even on the African continent, we are one of the effective institutions.
Yes, but as you reminded us, that elections are won at the polling stations. And we all agree, at least since it was said, we all agree that it's won at polling stations. So if people go into their voting centers and they realize that their names have been transferred, is that not
the worry and how you know how those transfers happen? And mostly, even if it's transferred, in fact, what was the aim of the exhibition? What was the aim of
it? It was to identify some of these things.
Certainly. And so when they come up, we rectify them. Let me tell you what happens. As a result of everybody going to one center to register, especially for the new people who applied to be put on the register, you from Neighborhood electoral area, there are maybe 100 polling stations within the electoral area. sometimes people go, and as a result of some of the things that some of these parties do, people who actually don't live within the area are brought from elsewhere to come and register within the constituencies because of the gains they want to achieve.
But that's legal. That's allowed. If you want to do vote transfer, it's allowed.
Apparently, there are stated
criteria
to qualify to put your name on the electoral roll. So if you don't live in a place, if you're not resident, if you're not ordinary resident, you're not. But because of some of the things these people do, when you go there, and let's say you go to Immaculate Conception, right? In Immaculate Conception, there are 5 different polling stations. Roman A, Roman B, Roman C, D, E, or Roman 1A, Roman 1A, Roman 1. Over time, when the number exceeds, I think 750 or so, a new police stations, just so the lines at the elections could go fast. So when you go to Roman Immaculate Conception, Roman 1, and then it's not there, and you go to Roman 2, I don't think that it is a significant anomaly.
But that's not what was identified.
That is the essence.
No, but that's not what was identified.
I'm stating that some of the possibilities that happen.
But I get it, but I'm saying that
I am stating some of the possibilities that happen.
What has been identified are major movement. It's not from moving from Roman 1A to Roman 1B. When you move names from a constituency to another constituency.
My word is it. That is why IPAC was created. That's why IPAC was created. For parties to take their concerns there and resolve by the EC. But when the EC comes out, it sees that for what you have identified, it happened because of A, B, C, D, and it's been rectified. I think that we need to support that institution. We need to help build institutions rather than bastardize them or threaten to go on the streets some 80 days or so to elections. And I think that, look, it is really, really uncalled for at this time. For me, I think it's really, really uncalled for at this time.